Good afternoon, all. Let us start with the solar design that we have started from the last time. So, I'll just revise what we have seen in the last session and we will continue. So, we have taken an example with various appliances available at the home. We are designing the rooftop solar system. So, suppose we have lighting load of 25 watt, quantity 3 using 6 hours. So again, I request all of you please join within 10 minutes. Otherwise, I have to change the screen every time, and it is difficult to me to change over the screen to just admit you. Okay. So henceforth, if you don't admit within first 10 minutes, then I'm not going to allow you to attend the lecture because it is difficult to me to maintain the attendance as well. Okay. So please join within first 10 minutes only. So coming back to the topic, we have various loads that we have seen last time. This is the power rating. We have the quantity. We know the number of hours in use. So we can calculate the kW rating and kilowatt hour used in a day. Okay. So we have calculated the total kilowatt hour. So approximately 2.5 kilowatt hour per day we are using. So taking this example, we have to calculate the number of panels. So here we have considered that the efficiency of a charge controller is 85%, efficiency of wiring is 98%, and battery efficiency of 85%. Okay, so considering all these, we are going to calculate the number of PV arrays. So one upon all this will give us the overall system efficiency, which comes out to be 1.43. So whenever we want to develop a power, we have to develop 43% more power than what is required. This is the meaning of overall efficiency here. Okay. So energy needed in the last slide, we have seen 2.5 kilowatt hour. So we have to multiply that 2.5 kilowatt hour is converted into watt hour, which is 2500. So we are multiplying it with 1.4 to get the 40% more power so that we will get the required power. So total power requirement is 3500 watt hour. Considering the sun availability of 6 hours daily we want to develop 583 watt. So number of hours we are considering for sun. So we will get the wattage requirement from the PV array. So we want 583 watt daily. So now we are selecting the array voltage. So depending upon the power requirement, we go for a inverter voltage. So it is 500 and something, 583. So we can select the second row of the criteria. This is a standard. So we will go for 24 volt system. Okay. So we have chosen 24 volt DC rating. Now we will calculate the DC current to be extracted from the PV arrays so that we can find out the number of modules in parallel. And for voltage rating, we have to decide the number of panels in series. So IDC is equal to total peak power requirement upon VDC. So peak power requirement is 583 that we have seen calculated, divided by DC voltage level we have selected 24. So it is 24.29 ampere. Okay. So this is the power requirement. Now if we select a standard module of say 50 watt. Okay, so just now you can go on Amazon and select for 50 watt solar module and check the other specifications of it, cost of it, and all. Last time we already have seen this is the maximum power rating of say 50 watt. Voltage level for this particular module, which has been selected by this candidate, these are the ratings. Okay, this is a voltage, this is a current, maximum current, open circuit voltage, short circuit current, and module efficiency 12%. So with this module rating, we will find out number of modules in parallel. So IDC number of modules in parallel means we are looking at the current profile. So we know the total IDC requirement divided by IM, maximum current given by one module. So see here, maximum current given by the module is 2.8 ampere. So we can divide 24.29 upon 2.8. So it will give us 8.69. So approximately 9 modules we have to connect in parallel. So number of parallel paths should be 9. Whereas VDC we have selected 24 volt, and maximum voltage by the panel which we have selected. See, maximum voltage is 17.89. So I have divided it by 17.89, so it is 1.34. So it is always better to go for a higher side because there is a charge controller to maintain the voltage as well. So we have two modules in series. So likewise 9 into 2, 18 modules, solar modules of 50 watt are required to develop the power of 583 watt daily. So here last time we have stopped and we have selected the number of modules. Okay. So now we will go further. So if anyone wants to attend the session, please attend it within time. Again, I'm announcing because it is difficult to change the screen every time and allow you to admit, refresh my attendance. So it is a lot of time consuming. So if you want to join within first 10 minutes only. Otherwise, I'm not going to allowing you henceforth. Okay, so let us have today's battery sizing. So we are interested to find out the battery sizing. So what we will do is, we know the array size. So it is a power requirement which we have calculated to be 3500 to find out the total DC current requirement. So 3500 is the array sizing that we have calculated, see, after considering the overall efficiency. Okay, so 3500 watt hour is the total watt hour requirement. So watt hour requirement is 3500 divided by system voltage. We have selected 24 volt. So I'm dividing it by 24 volt to get the ampere hour, because we know that the battery is specified by ampere hour. So here we are getting 145.83 ampere hour battery. Now we have to consider the depth of discharge of a battery. So depth of discharge is considered as 80%. Now the meaning of depth of discharge is, we never discharge the battery to its 100%, but we are allowing to discharge it by 80% only, because recharging we never drain the battery to its full. Okay, it is considering the safety and life of the battery. So it is considered as 0.8. Okay, and depth of discharge is 0.8, and battery efficiency is also considered as 80%. So we have calculated the ampere hour, which is 145.83. You don't consider this what he has written, you directly take this step: 145.83 ampere hour divided by depth of discharge and battery efficiency. So it is something 227 ampere hour. So this is the battery capacity which we want. So we have to select the battery now. Suppose we have selected one battery of 100 ampere hour. This is A, huh? 100 ampere hour. So you can go to Amazon afterwards or any shopping site, and you can check there that 100 ampere hour battery specifications and costing as well. So suppose we are selecting a battery of 100 ampere hour and we need the battery of 227 ampere hour. Just now we have calculated it here, 227 ampere hour. So 227 upon 100, so approximately 2.27. So we'll go to the higher side for betterment. So we need three batteries. Okay, so we have selected number of panels. We have selected batteries with specifications. Now we'll go to the inverter sizing. So for inverter, this is a thumb rule that we generally go for 25 to 30% larger than the total power requirement. Now we have calculated the total power requirement, which is 3.5 kilowatt or 3500 watt hour. So we'll multiply it by 30% more, so 1.3. So we need the inverter of 4.55 kW. So this is the size of the inverter. You can check the costing and ratings available on any site. Till that time, I'll allow the students to admit. Okay, so coming back to the inverter now. Inverter sizing has been done. We know how much kW we want. We want 4.55 kW. Now we'll go to the next component, which is charge controller. So charge controller is going to deliver a current at a constant voltage. So we have to find out the charge controller current capacity. This is not ISC, this is ICC, charge controller current. Okay, so charge controller current is given by short circuit current rating of a panel into number of panels, because we are putting it in parallel, into factor of safety. So factor of safety is approximately 30% you have to take. So we are multiplying by 1.3. Number of panels we have found out 8.69, and we have gone for 9 parallel paths. You can take 9 or 8.69, not much difference. And short circuit current rating of a one panel, we have seen 50 watt panel selection is 3.04, so that we have taken. So if we find out the product and we find out the charge current, charge controller current requirement, then we can find it out. It is 34.34 ampere. So approximately we'll go for 35 ampere charge controller. Now we'll find out what amount of current inverter is going to fade. So total power after multiplying with 40% is 4550, okay, watts. So we consider that, say, load is of pointed power factor. If you take one, you will get less current. So better way to go for pointed, considering some lagging load as well. So pointed is the power factor which is approximated here, and voltage, all appliances at household are running on 230 volt. So we have taken 230. So wattage upon voltage into power factor will get the current by the inverter. Okay, this is the inverter rating we have taken. Power of the inverter 4550. I'll show you inverter 4.55 kW. So it is 4550 upon 230 into 0.8. So inverter is going to deliver approximately 24.72 ampere, means 25 ampere current. Okay. So here we have selected all the devices. Now let us calculate the payback period as well. So wiring we have to do after the inverter. So for 25 ampere current rating, you have to select the gauge. So I have gone through the table given in ICE. So you can search for gauge rating of a wire for 25 ampere. Depending upon the current carrying capacity, you have to take the corresponding wire gauge. So approximately 12 wire gauge we have to select with a dimension of 3.5 square cable. Okay. So that cabling cost also you have to consider. Now we will have the cost estimation here. So number of PV modules, 9 parallel paths, and each path have 2 modules in series. So it will be 18. Now if you see the Amazon costing, I have searched it some time before. So I'll show you a screenshot here. So this is a screenshot which I have found on the Amazon with 50 watt solar power, 50 wattage. So it is approximately 2000 to 2500. Okay, 500 is a variable cost found on various sites. So approximately we have considered 2000, considering we are taking 18 panels, so we can bargain to 2000 easily. So say 2000 approximate costing we have considered here. Likewise 18 modules are there. Now the student has made a mistake. 10 is less here. 18 twos are 36. So it will be 36,000 rupees. Right. Then 2 batteries we have to take. We have seen the battery specifications. So one battery is costing say 3500. It is, I think, 5500. He has written 10,500. Okay, so it should be 5,500. 2 batteries, so 10,500. One charge controller, say 3,000 rupees, and one inverter, 5,000 rupees. So in all you have to make the calculation. Now same in the same with the same procedure, you can calculate your household load, and you can select or design your own rooftop solar system. This is your assessment tool number 2, which is based on your unit number 2. For unit 1 we have conducted one test. Now for unit 2 we are going to conduct this design problem. So all you have to design the rooftop solar system for your own home, and develop a write-up like this. So whatever pages you have with you right now, you can complete the task, but you have to put it in your practical journal. So you can easily now find out the total costing. You can add a 10% of the total cost as a wiring cost. Okay. So total cost, let us say with this example, is 54,500 rupees, whatever the cost will come for your application. Now you have to find out the payback period. So we are finding it out simply by considering the monthly electricity bill that arrives at our home. So considering electricity bill of our home as 1000 rupees per month here, we are dividing the total cost divided by monthly bill. So here it is 54.5 months. So how many years? So we are just dividing by 12, and it has been found that approximately 4.5 year is required to get the payback of our rooftop system. So likewise you have to complete, likewise you have to complete the whole system and solve it for your application.